Recording. Did I just see a message pop up? For me, BTC is one to watch at the minute. We'll take a quick look at Bitcoin, mate, before I start with the boring stuff, unless more questions come in. So currently short-term downtrending. I've just seen as well that Stuart Hoots had taken a loss on this today, well, recently. Let's take a look at what he was looking at. I think he was trying to sell from in here. So we'll dedicate this first few minutes to Stuart. I think his entry was something like that. Would have been tighter, no doubt. Right there. So one of the basics I was going to cover anyway was liquidity. So we'll start with why Stuart probably lost his first trade today, and that would be liquidity based. So we've got trend line here. So obviously, if Stu's stop loss was something like that, he was trying to sell down, whatever. Obviously, it's seen like a break below somewhere in here. It's not the structure break I would recommend, because obviously this is the low that put in the high. So I'd be looking for a break under here first anyway. I'm sure he knows this, but it's more for anyone else that's a bit newer that will watch it back. If I was looking for sell, I'd be wanting it to break at least down below this 1 minute low here first, not this one here, because this is just internal. This low here is internal, and it's after this one's created. Liquidity, obviously, as you see, 1, 2, 3, 4 touches on this trend line up here. So there'll be big money sat above there. Can I put a money sign in there? Where are we? No, I'll leave it. I can't find it. Money. There you go. Money. Above this trend line. Obviously, so. Oh, sorry, I'm just going to let people in. So obviously people will have their stop losses above there, obviously like Stu has here, likely. Um, and obviously what Price has done, this is obviously it's set a trap. It's give a little reaction, probably off of his entry here, this little pullback, make people think it is selling off. And obviously what it's decided is he wants to come and take this liquidity, so people's money, and it's moving on to its next sort of target sort of thing. There's obviously major imbalances above as well. And I do believe higher time frame we are bullish now. So yeah, it's taken all this big trend lines here. So I think we are now pretty much bullish. I'll just delete some of this because that's been taken. It was a nice trade anyway, that one. That would have been the balance I was looking at. So we are very sort of bullish at the minute anyway. So we might get a little bit of continuation to the downside for the next day or two. Something here looks a bit of an interest. I'll break that down in a minute. We've also possibly got equal lows there, or pretty equal lows, just above this imbalance here. So we are currently on the 15 minute. So this, I know this here mitigated this. Big wick down. So that mitigated a big imbalance and a sweep to the left. And then obviously it started breaking above these up here, taking highs, possibly leaving trend line. Put it in here to take a later date. Something like that. Obviously it did push up and take it eventually. Obviously after this mitigation of the first mitigation here, break, second mitigation, which would have been our entry. This was possibly an entry in there. Obviously I'll not dive too deep, but again, it's looking like obviously if that's broken major highs, which I believe it did, so it was just the big high we was looking at. Just show you before I get back down. Start dropping later. So yeah, it took this high, taken these equals here, I believe, relatively equals here. It's just mitigated something here, but I think that was the last imbalance filled. So it's going to take, if it's going to go higher again, it could well take it and create new all-time highs. So this might well come and fill this sort of 4 hour in here. Just make a line for you guys. So I'll drop that down again. Obviously, I'll delete this because that was just roughly what Stuart's pending would be. He's just wrote in that it definitely want to chock. Maybe he's in tonight and watching. No, unless he is iPad. So we might well get a bit of a sell up from somewhere in here. I'll focus on what I think the buy move will be first. So under that, just delete this for now because I know we're looking for an entry pot. Well, something below this liquidity line because I want this to be swept. So our replay. So this will be alien to some of you if you're relatively new. Don't worry about the seconds chart. It's just what I'll do. Don't tell Sean because he might bollock me. This is a nice imbalance here. That's my imbalance is yellow. You laugh all you want, Stephen. He probably will at some point.
Right, that's just what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just made me chuckle when you said, "Oh, don't tell Sean."
So obviously I've drawn a level line across just so anything above, obviously this is the low, anything, all this price action here is irrelevant because it's taken by this. So um, maybe this, I'm not too pleased about it. I'm like that. Make it other stuff. Change the time frame, see where we're at. And I'm just going to break down this huge wick here because that one looks manipulation-y. So I'm just going to, right before the line, I'll drop to 10. If it's a news thing, where's he gone? So it's claiming it's there on the 1 minute, but not anything lower. Interesting. Very interesting. That's I don't know what that means then. Might be this imbalance in a way because I quite like this candle.
It's not a huge gap and there's something down the bottom of it.
Uh, good point, mate. I'll just double
Maybe
check.
that would still show as a single line on the 1 minute, maybe, but not on the
Yeah, no,
seconds.
there's nothing there, mate. It's it must not be important enough. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really follow Bitcoin anyway, so it's more for. I know a few guys like to look at it, but um, hmm, that is interesting.
20 past 6 on Saturday.
It's also Saturday, so does it close on a Saturday or anything? This
No,
No,
no.
it's 24/7. Apart from, I
because
think.
I've got no 4:47 minute either. It goes 46 to 48.
Um,
What about
that
the week? What about the week before?
Uh, I'll go check that in a minute. But
Yeah.
if you look at this imbalance here as well, I've marked this line here, so something's going on here. I don't know. But obviously, this imbalance is shown as filled by all this, and then as soon as you drop, clear
that's
price action.
on Binance. That's not even shown. It's different on. So the Coinbase chart is different.
Ah,
So there's
Uh,
something there.
yeah, I think the good one to use is the BTC USDT.
right. Okay.
I think that's a better one, better
Yeah,
feed to
I'll not
use.
worry about that for now. It's
No.
yeah. So I'll just drop back because we can. I mean, the charts have been pretty good for me when I've taken anything on it anyway. So it's quite. I think it's close to my broker, and that's the main thing, I guess. Um, so obviously now that I've got like imbalances marked and things like that, obviously if we can sort of spot like manipulations and trend lines to be swept and things like that, would always be a. I mean, a lot of that there as well. Did a lot to mark that one. Mitigates that this whatever this is. Yeah, I'm going to leave that on. I quite like that over that candle as well. But it might not come that low. So that's a 5. Might come down that low, to be honest. Might be a little bit of liquidity under here. Just a bit of a sweep. Starts breaking up. But I'll leave these marked on anyway. I'd set alerts on them. I imagine it'll likely want to, if it is going to carry on up, it'll likely do it from one of these imbalance fills. Generally, I'd say the lower, the better for buys, obviously, but because something's happened in here that I'm unaware of, it might not. Yeah, this might have been filled. It might not have been. I don't know. But, so if that's below, we might be able to catch a sell from above. Maybe liquidity. Um, I wouldn't really want it to come above this if you're just trying to catch a sell down to that buy somewhere, because that would be a break of structure, change of character for me. So somewhere from this low, possibly that imbalance there, something in there would be on that extent. Somewhere in that price action is where I'm probably looking for a sell. Short term, obviously. Um, Possibly equal highs in here. Highs. So we could be maybe looking at price coming into very high into the zone. This trend line here could help it continue higher. It could sweep that, sort of retest the trend line maybe, come and sweep this into somewhere up there. I'll jump down on the seconds and see what imbalances are in here in a minute. But so we could well see sweep into this maybe. Sweep, then pull back onto the trend line, sorry. Sweep this equal highs. Maybe then, obviously, once it changes character, break a structure, it would hopefully leave an imbalance filled in there. Come fill the imbalance, mitigate the order block, and then sell down into one of these imbalances. Obviously, I personally always wait for this change of character. I'll just draw it on so you can sort of see what I'm talking about. Awful in that colour. Something like that. So liquidity sweep, double sweep, yeah. If it broke below here again, or obviously this low might be somewhere else, but as an example, change of character, break structure, whatever you want to call it, then hopefully it would leave a imbalance fill, a bit of imbalance in there. Change of character would confirm the entry for me, so that would then mean an entry like something like that. It's a green box, a bit hard to see maybe on your screen. Obviously, these will be candles when you're sort of like looking at it. So now I will break that down on the lowers just to see if there's anywhere that we can think it might react from. So straight away, that's a huge imbalance. Just going to drop to the 5 because Bitcoin's a bit fast, so the 5 is like the 10 or 15 on anything else. Please chuck your questions in, guys. I'm waffling now. Nice little imbalance there. Candle here. Not as good as the one below, obviously. This one's huge. I'm pretty sure that'll definitely get a reaction. We don't just obviously take anything straight away off that. Always wait for a change of character, a break of structure as a minimum, please. And then we get a couple more imbalances up higher. Maybe that. Not the best, but there. Nothing in here that's too snazzy. And maybe this imbalance here, maybe. equal highs. We're only on 5 seconds, so it's not too major. Well, I'm starting to like a bit more of this. This candle here I really like. We reached any equal highs yet. Level line so I know where I can go across to. Pretty much fills on that. Got equal highs. So just above them. Hopefully there'll be something nice in here. It's not looking too good. No, that's about all the imbalances I'd mark. I think I don't see too much in the way of anything higher than that. Just double check on the 15 just in case. Nah, I'm not too fussed by that. I'd love to have seen this candle here, just here. That would have been nice. Maybe that'll line through with here. I'll mark that just in case. Because this is a big push, so I'd fully expect that if we if Bitcoin does come up, take these liquidities and things like that. Like say, as I say, take these equal highs, fills an imbalance in here, maybe like I've got marked, then we definitely could see a sell down to take these. So that could be with a nice tight entry, could be a bit of a monster move, really, especially Bitcoin. It'll do it in no time at all. I mean, that means no to me anyway, so I don't know. But you'll be able to catch some pips on that, no doubt, if it plays out. It might come take the low first as well. Obviously, you might come take these out first, so it could sweep down and then take the high.
So where you've got that marked up, Lee,
Yes, mate.
I was actually in a sell from that area already.
What, from up here?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But then obviously it come down and obviously now it's reversing. So I was hoping it was actually going to go a little bit lower. So I'm still in it at the moment, hoping
Yeah.
hoping it might just change and drop a little bit.
Yeah.
Before coming back up again. But
I mean, it is a possibility, mate. Obviously, I'm just
yeah,
sort of making.
because it looks like it's actually filling that 4 hour imbalance, I think, at the moment.
Yeah.
Which is worrying to me that it's going to carry on going up.
Well, like I say, mate, it is currently downtrending, so you've got all this going on. So it's one of them. Obviously, it could do anything, and it's in them.
I've been in it since yesterday morning.
Yeah. Nice. Did you have a tight stop loss on that, mate? So you don't have to tell
No,
me what it is, but if it's
no,
tight,
not really. No. I basically on my self-funded, I've just put like 200 pound stop loss on it.
yeah.
Because obviously, because it's my self-funded, so
Yeah. Well, like I say, mate, it might just literally fill one of these two or
yeah.
three imbalances. This is most likely, I think, mate. Fill these,
Hmm.
leave these for a later date. That
Hmm.
that's that's what I think is the most probable. Like I say, this here now it's hit that. I didn't realize obviously it hit one of the imbalances with marked. The only concern is, mate, is obviously is this trend line for you. So
Yeah.
this, I mean, I have spoken about it on previous lives to say that on trend lines on like the last touch,
Yeah,
and all the previous touches, obviously, but the last touch does I do because I do like to see it is this. I mean, it's about to smash it now, mate, by the looks of it. You do often get a little pullback anyway to draw in
yeah,
early sellers in this case, obviously, or to make people jump in to think it's leaving without them.
yeah,
So
right, yeah,
this might. I mean, if you're in it, mate, I hope it does this. Phil takes the trend line, fills this imbalance, and basically fucks off for you. Do you know?
yeah. Me too.
Um,
Thanks.
yeah,
I mean, I tell you where I've got a few targets set.
yeah.
So 67382.
Just let
But
me.
the bottom target, ideally where I want it to go to, is the 64633. But I don't think it's going to go that far from your markups just then.
6-4.
Mm.
These imbalances down here.
Is that 6-4 area?
6-4 200.
I got 64633 as my end
Okay.
target, if you know what I mean. So a little
Yeah,
bit further up. I think I had that on the 1 minute time frame, maybe.
yeah. I mean, I
So
marked these a while ago, mate. So
yeah,
um, these would have been from this markup. I would have been wanting them to come down here, maybe. Obviously, if it got through this big wick here. I mean, it still might do, mate. I don't.
we'll
Obviously,
see.
they'll
Yeah.
do any. It does anything it wants to. Bitcoin. There's no.
Well, yeah, exactly.
It's literally no one's bitch, is it? So
No.
it's it's just a nutcase of a
See
of
what
a.
happens when it opens up again when the market actually opens
Yeah,
up.
I mean, if you look at the. I mean, I haven't looked at it any on bigger time frames. Anything bigger. Matt says it's going to zero, but you're good. Yeah, I mean, on the 4 hour, mate, it's very likely it will just fill this imbalance in there. Um, again, there's imbalances down here that I did actually have marked. It could well go for them. I could have just been early to the field with this one, mate. So,
Mm.
um,
Yeah, it was that accumulation area, and I was watching it. It was bouncing off the EMA like loads of times, and I was like, right, I'm going to
yeah,
enter now, and then it just drops, and then it went all the way down to that equal low, and then it's obviously just turned. And I was like, oh shit. So
yeah,
we'll see.
yeah. Yeah, it's difficult, mate. Hide all drawings. Uh, yeah, they don't really help either, mate. I don't. The only concern with this is obviously it's possibly filled something in here, mate, and it's possibly created the wick of the daily candle. So we might need a wick to the upside. I think Cam was on about this previously on one of Sean's Zooms.
Yeah, yeah,
But again, mate, there's daily imbalances below.
yeah.
Um, there's a trend line sweep in here, so there's a real possibility it could come down this low here.
That's low as well.
Yeah, I
The
mean
thing is,
that's
on
59, mate. So
on
60.
Tuesday it could drop that low
Yeah,
with that with obviously the elections and everything,
yeah.
or it could just go for another all-time high. Who knows?
They do both, buddy. Could oscillate up and down like a big news, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, that's the thing. It's the spring is just coiling up. That's the problem, and the spring's got to release at some point.
yeah. Equal highs taken here. So, yeah, I mean, you could look at it from both angles, mate. It could go up, could go down. So,
Hopefully, it's a little bit of imbalance just there over to the right.
down here.
There, I was
Yeah,
hoping it would want to come down and fill that area.
yeah. Did you do it from the weekly
I've
perspective? Did
I've
you?
had I've had a look at it. So basically, from when because obviously that wick is just below the previous all-time high,
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
so it hasn't actually broken that all-time high. And I was
No,
like,
no.
right, okay. So I'm hoping now, from obviously that big wick that's pushing down, that
Yeah,
it's because obviously if you look at the all-time high, it's kind of like got a big wick that's gone below
yeah,
as well.
yeah,
So hopefully it's going to wick all the way down to that imbalance, um, and then decide what it wants to do then. But
yeah,
that's
yeah,
kind of how I've been looking at it as well.
yeah,
Do you
yeah,
remember on the Brexit vote when the initial rumor was that Remain was going to win and the pound went through the roof? And Farage actually was long on the pound,
yeah,
and then the market switched once the later results started to come in. So it did on Brexit night. The pound did a whipsaw,
yeah,
and I bet we're going to get the same thing with Bitcoin. I'm not calling which way it's going to go, but I think it's going to go both ways.
yeah, 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 yeah. To be honest, like I think there's the elections is gonna. I mean, I don't want to get into politics at all, but I
It'd be
think
nice just to watch the charts though on Tuesday and just see what it
yeah, it'll
does.
be amusing to watch the charts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
See all of your markups, everyone's markups are like, yep, that's just gone, that's gone,
yeah,
that's gone. All your
yeah,
markups just taken out.
It's like
yeah,
scrub the chart and start again in a week's time.
Basically,
yeah,
you're gonna
yeah,
have to
yeah,
after Tuesday.
yeah. It's probably worth just waiting now, unless you're taking small stuff. I think.
It's still dodgy, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, wait and see, guys. I don't. We put it under here. Yeah, it could do anything, mate. I don't really know.
Hopefully, it's just yeah, like I say, just filled that imbalance, and now it's pushing back
Yeah,
down
I
again.
say he's retreating again, mate. So,
Mm, we'll see.
like I said, I think that one, if I remember rightly, I think that's that big imbalance as well. Oh, it's a bit higher.
Lower, middle, by
Yeah,
that
it's hit
high.
that
That's it. Yeah,
that one there, mate. It's
yeah.
hit that one. So hopefully, mate, it just falls off a
Nice one.
cliff,
Thanks,
cliff
Lee.
here.
Cheers, mate.
No worries, mate. All right. Has anyone got any other questions, guys? Like I say I was going to do beginnery stuff, but spoke for that long, I've binned it all off. Um, if there's no questions, I'll just show you a trade that I took last week. I think it was Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. So my main system is to. I thought it's based off my main system. This entry sort of was, but I sort of cocked up a little bit as well. Um, but in my favour. So it was an educated cock up. So obviously you've got a trend line across here, touch, 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 touch here, sweep. So sweep breaks structure. So I've got this zone here marked. Should have it lower to be fair, but I haven't.
Lee, so the reason you draw these trend lines, Lee, is they're clues to liquidity. Is that right?
Yes. So obviously that was going to be one of the things I was going to cover in the sort of basics things
Yeah.
of the market. So trend lines, trend lines are just liquidity. People will likely have money sat below, and then I mean this is probably a good example here to show you as well. So as I was saying to Stephen previously, obviously you get all these touches. I think this is second, third, fourth touch here on this trend line there, because obviously it
Yeah.
starts over there. There's also four touches. It reacts. This will be people will get in at this touch. People will get in at this touch. It pulls away, comes back, touches again, draws more, but early buyers in. And then what happens here? This order block, little order block zone up here. I'll just point an arrow to it so people can see. from that point there, the idea is that the banks step in at this point, manipulate the market, take everybody's stop losses by breaking the trend line. Bearing in mind this is the 4 hour, so if you're just Joe Blogs and you're trying to buy well up here because you're greedy or whatever, right? So we've got that. You've got a 10 pip stop loss off that touch, fourth touch there. Banks come in, manipulate, take your stop loss, takes everybody's money, and then buys up in the right direction. So this is what my theory is after it starts breaking structures after the sweep. So I'm on the 4 hour, so I want it to start breaking above like these highs here. I don't think it actually does, but it does later on the 15. Oh, pardon me. So once it breaks structure, comes back, it comes back to like mitigate imbalances, or if we start thinking about the bank's manipulation, so I'm just going to delete that previous order. Things start to buy up from that fourth touch there. The idea is that the banks from this point here place, say, a sell order. Yeah, and then when it gets down here, they place a buy order. So that's their buy order. If this starts making no sense or I'm talking fast, please just let me know. So then the banks place a buy order. So they've got two orders on and basically they're hedged. So they've got a sell and a buy. Now that this market is all the way up here, right? Let's say, for example, that goes all the way up to this top up here, this high here. Goes all the way up there. This order is possibly, let's say, £100 million in profit. This first sell order is the opposite. So this one's, let me zoom in so you can see a bit there. This one is minus 90 million, 90 million or whatever number I said. So the banks want to come back and close out their order at break even. Their first order. So they want this to be mitigated so they can close this out at break even. And then they've made all this money on this order here. So this is why, obviously, it's all theory. I don't know. I've never worked at a bank. I don't know. But it's something we see regularly on a chart, and that sort of almost fits the narrative, I guess. So manipulation, two orders go in, buy and sell. They make money off one. They mitigate out the other once they've made the order on the order that the market was initially going. They've obviously used other people's orders to push the market in that direction as well. And then it's just the same thing reoccurring. Obviously, I'm working through 4 hour to 15 and 1 and what have you. So that's why manipulation, the manipulation that we wait for, I want to see a breaker structure, because then obviously you're expecting that the banks will come and mitigate out of their opposite hedge that's losing money, which is obviously then if it breaks structure, that's a confirmation for us that we want to go in the right direction, and then we hopefully get in on their mitigation of their manipulation. So getting in on the liquidity sweeps, basically. That's probably the easiest way to put it, is we are getting in on the mitigation of their liquidity sweep after we've had our confirmations. So as you see here, obviously it's filled imbalances here with whatever happened here. It's then broken more structures for me. Broke above here with this one here. So now I'm basically looking for to come back, come down and fill some of these imbalances, break 1 minute structure to the upside. And then that to me, obviously we're on the 4 hour now. So I wait for the 4:15 and one. So 4 here, 15's done here, break structure to the upside. And now I'm waiting for 1 in here, which means that I've got the 4 hour telling me it wants to go up. I've got the 15-minute telling me it wants to go up by the breaks of structure. And now I'm waiting for the 1 minute and possibly the last imbalance to be filled and liquidity to be taken. So, which means we then theoretically might get, so if we, so like this comes down here, fills an imbalance, breaks above on the 1 minute there, mitigates, we might continue bullish with this 4 hour structure, mitigation, new higher high from there. That's the theory of my main strategy. But quickly, it might not go and create a new higher high because I do think it's slightly well, yeah, it might do. It looks like it's possibly starting to turn bullish on the weekly. So obviously it has been coming down, but we're now starting to create new higher highs, higher lows. So yeah, I'll be looking for. I mean, I don't know if I'd hold that far. I can't say, but I mean, it's unlikely. But yeah, I'd be looking for maybe a new higher high. I'll show you all on oil as well because oil's possibly done or doing the exact same thing. But it's all, for me, it's all the same thing. Obviously, I'm trading a little bit differently day to day now to try and show you guys. But obviously, trend line in here, sweep. Obviously, I've got a low here, obviously from this trend line. Obviously, that previous touch in here gets taken by this one here. But as we can see, so it creates a low. It's broken above this high here that put in that low, breaks above. So that creates a new 15-minute zone for me. There's a couple of imbalances in here. This one here. Fills this higher imbalance perfectly. You can see here, touches that. And now it's broken above the 1 minute. We're on the 15 at the minute, but this was my one. And then obviously it started buying up big time, but it's coming down. Now George Campbell's already taken an entry on this. His 15-minute was different to mine, so I very much could be wrong, and he caught the move. But if it comes back down here and I find a nice entry, nice imbalance, for the sake of it, I'll probably set the pending and take the risk, even if I'm wrong. There's huge targets above it as well. Anyway, so we've got all this imbalance here. It'll be creating trend lines all over the place as well. But we've got imbalances up here, gaps to fill, trend lines here, like that. See if there's any more upside. Imbalances here, I believe, and that's filled. Maybe in there. But you get the idea anyway. There's decent targets above at the minute anyway. This being the first sort of main one. Obviously, I would always if you catch it, I would always recommend taking money out of these big imbalanced fills. Obviously, first one being is you want this one filled here in case it does continue lower. It is super bearish at the minute. Obviously, you can see my system did catch the move to buy down. It caught the boot move up to that, so Yeah. So yeah, this move here would have been my 15-minute zone. So this would have been my 15-minute high from this low here. Breaks above it, comes back, mitigates, does a 1 minute break structure in here, buys up into this big sell off from here. But yeah, I'm hoping to catch a decent buy on oil, hopefully this week. There's a question. Yep, see you later, Steve, mate. If you haven't already gone, mate, I'll be calling it myself in a minute anyway, guys. Unless there's any more questions, please chuck them in. Anything from anyone?
No, Lee, just trying to soak it in, mate. I have to sit and watch this again tomorrow.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
That's good. It's
I
all
started
right.
talking a bit fast and
No, it's all good. There's no way. There's no way to follow this, and I've just got to go back and do it again a couple of times. It's cool. It's fine.
yeah, no worries, mate. I've just nearly choked on my drink as well.
Oh, we don't want that.
I'll call it there, guys. All right.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Okay, Lee.
I'll catch you guys in the chat. All right.
Take it easy, mate. Ta-ra.
Cheers, bye.